Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're looking at 2.3 angle properties in triangles. In the diagram, angle MTH is an exterior angle of triangle MAT. Determine the measures of the unknown angles in triangle MAT. So we want to know what the angle MTA is, or ATM, and we also want to know what angle MAT is. Okay, so let's figure this out. So the first thing we can find would be angle MTA or ATM, whatever way you want to look at it. So that's what we'll find first. So angle ATM, right, or MTA, whatever, right? ATM or angle MTA, they're equivalent, is equal to, and we know it's going to be 180 degrees. So it'll be 180 degrees minus 155 degrees, which would be equal to 25 degrees. Okay? So that would mean that angle T is 25 degrees. Because these two have to add up to 180. These are called supplementary angles, right? Supplementary angles. Next, we want all the unknown angles in MAT. So next one would be angle MAT or TAM. So angle MAT or TAM. Remember, the middle letter is where the angle is located. Okay? So in A, it's really okay to just say angle A. Right? Because there's no other angles associated with angle A. But here we had to say ATM because we had ATM, we had MTA, which is equivalent, but we also had MTH or HTM. So angle T had two different names because it's two different spots. You have this angle T or this angle T, right? So that's what you got to be mindful of here. We could call this angle A, right? Or we could just call it MAT. Or we could also call it TAM. Now, I don't want to confuse you, but I want to make that point clear, right? It's extremely important, okay? And we know that three angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So it'll be 180 subtract 25 degrees, subtract 40 degrees, subtract 40 degrees, and that will give us what's left over. So 25 and 45 is 65, so that would leave us with 115, this angle right here. And we have the two unknown angles there, right? And that is three angles in a triangle, three interior angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Okay. All right. And that's example one. Next, it says prove that angle D is equal to angle A plus angle B. So I'll prove that angle D is equal to angle A plus B. So first thing we know that C and D add up to 180 degrees. We know that because all angles add up a straight line add up to 180, or we can just say angle D and angle C are supplementary angles. We can say that. So therefore, we can say that angle D is equal to 180 minus angle C by subtracting that, by isolating the variable D. All right. So next, we can say that angle A, B, and C add up to 180. Angle A, B, and C add up to 180 degrees. We know this because the sum of the measures of the angles in any triangle add up to 180 degrees. And we can rearrange this for subtract the one, isolate, and take the angle C from both sides. So if we take this and we subtract angle C from both sides, we end up with A plus B is equal to 180 minus C. D is also equal to 180 minus C. So therefore, we can say that angle A plus angle B is equal to angle D, because they're both equal to 180 minus C. And this is called the transitive property. The transitive property is simply if we can get one angle equal to the same as the other, then obviously they have to be equivalent, and they're equal to one another. So they must be equal to one another. So since, and the reason here is since angle B is equal to, and also angle D is equal to C, then they have to be equal to one another. A and B have to be equal to each other, right? And that's called the transitive property. Next, we're going to look at finding angles of a triangle, similar to what we did in the last exercise, in the first example. So 3 triangles, we have to add up to 180. So we can say that angle A is equal to 180 minus 44 degrees minus 85 degrees, so 44 degrees minus 85 degrees, right? Because the 3 angles in a triangle add up to 180. So that would be 180 minus 129, which would be equal to 51 degrees. 51 degrees for angle A. And we know that angle B is equal to 180, we call them supplementary angles, minus angle A. is equal to 180. Oh, minus, and we just found it, 51 degrees. And that's equal to 129 degrees. And we kind of did that property in one of the other questions, right? That angle, this angle is going to add up to these two angles added together, which is kind of neat. Okay? And that's for example A. In example B here, we have SR 63 and 32. Now, 32 and R are what are considered corresponding angles. Look at B here, example B. And R is equal to 32 degrees for corresponding angles. Say angle R is equal to 32 degrees. They correspond. And this angle missing here would be 63 degrees. So we can say that angle S would be equal to 180 degrees minus angle R, which is 32 degrees, minus this angle here is not indicated, which is 63 degrees because of corresponding angles. So that means that angle S would be equal to 180 minus 95, add the 63 and the 32, we get 95. So that means that angle S is equal to 85 degrees. Well, 80 minus 95, so that angle S up here is 85 degrees. Okay? Also, you could have made the one big triangle here right away and got the 85 degrees as well. So, and that would have been fine. So, you know, there's not one way to get there. But we had to find R anyway, which is 32. And again, it's however way you want to look at it. Now let's look at question C. Question C says we look for A, B, and C. We have 35. We know these two angles here are parallel. This line here would be considered transversal. So that means that angle A and 35 are equal because they're called alternate interior angles, which are equal. So we know that angle A is equal to 35 degrees. Because these are called alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles. Just if you were to extend that, you would see that. And then we know that angle B, we know that angle B would have to equal 180 minus 35 minus 26. Angle B, these three in a triangle add up to 180. So that means that angle B is going to equal, like I said, 180 minus 35 minus 26, which would be, that would be 61. So angle B is equal to 119. 119 degrees. So that means that angle C is also equal to 119. These are transverse angles, or vertically opposite. I've heard that before, vertically opposite angles. They're equal. So that would also equal 119. So A would be 35, alternate interior angles. B would be 119, three angles out to 180, and C is equal to 119. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.